Hi, welcome back to You've Got This, the channel that's dedicated to teaching you all the life skills that you need to make it in this world. Today we're going to be organizing all the documents that you might have stacked up on your desk or in a box. It's pretty common when you're first starting out, or even if you just never learned how, to just kind of start letting those things pile up. And the reason it's important to have all your documents in an orderly fashion and organized so that you can find them is for several reasons. You need to be able to readily access things periodically, and it's really stressful when you're just rifling through stacks of paperwork to try to find something that you know is in there, and sometimes you're in a hurry and you can't find it. And you also need to be able to be on your A game in life in terms of, you need to be monitoring your finances, you need to be tracking important pieces of paper and kind of always knowing where your things are and what the status is of everything in your life. I mean, it gets a little overwhelming, but this is meant to ease your ability to move easily through life and get where you want to in life. And having stacks of paper is just going to complicate things for you. So I'm going to show you a couple basic things about how you might organize your paperwork. It's the way I do it, and I'm just going to go through and show you how you take a stack of paper and turn it into a nice, orderly packet of files. First off, I do want to point out something that's a little different, and that is the thought that you may have some extremely important documents. Those are things like birth certificates, passports, social security cards, immunization records, a will, deeds to property or vehicles, title work. Those kinds of pieces of paper are harder to duplicate. If something should happen to them, to try to track them down is challenging. And one of the ways that you can safeguard those incredibly important documents is to have a fire-safe box. I'm going to bring it here so that you can see it. If you've never seen one or heard of these, this is a fire-safe box, and it's incredibly heavy. I mean, this is a little tiny box, but it's so heavy because it's made to protect documents in the event of a fire. And so, like in my box, I have my passport. This is the title to my vehicle that you get once you've paid off your car. I have really, really old immunization records dating back to the 60s. I've got my birth certificate in here from when I was a baby. And I even have duplicates of things like my passport. Social security card, all of that. You may not have your social security card. A lot of people lose theirs. It's easy to lose, but man, you don't want to. That's something you really have to protect. You know that, for the protection of your identity in the case of identity theft. If you have that, put it somewhere incredibly safe. These boxes lock, and then you put them in a very safe place, maybe up in the top of a closet or something like that. In the event of a fire, theoretically, these documents should not burn. So I'm going to recommend that, but these can be pricey, so that should be a goal to work towards. Now, what happens if you have an entire stack of papers like this, and maybe you were smart in that you consolidated all of your papers that you've been collecting into a box at the very least? So one of my favorite people in the whole world, and several people that I know that are like this person, did did take the smart move to create a box for documents, but they're not necessarily organized so that they're easy to rifle through when you need to get stuff, or you just want to refer back to them. In my case, I keep all my credit card statements. I get paper statements because I like to look back and see what some of my expenses were over a period of time on various things like business expenses, or how much money did I waste going out to eat, or things like that. And so, you know, I like to have things that are easy for me to just go through and look and find. So what I'm going to show you, we're going to not make you suffer through looking at how long it takes to sort these documents, but I'm going to basically tell you that we sort the documents in categories. So maybe it'll be healthcare documents, or homeowners insurance, or automobile insurance, or bills, or anything that you may have collected that you do want to hang on to at least for a while. And then we're going to put them in piles, identify the categories that those piles fit within, and then we're going to create the file in which to store them. If you're really on your A game, you scan your documents and have them on a file on your computer, but I'm not that savvy or that on it, but I at least have my paper documents filed. So we're going to start sorting. I'm going to get some help, and we're going to start sorting these things into piles, and we'll speed through the process so you don't have to be tormented by the length of time it takes, and then we'll get to showing you how to set up a file system. So let's go ahead and start sorting these things. Okay, so now we have sorted through all the paperwork, and what we determined is that we have some things that need to be filed into this new file box. We have some things that are just going to go into the recycling pile. We'll put that into our recycling bin. We have a lot of stuff that's just trash. This is trash and shredding stuff. We're going to sort through that. Some of this has personal information on it that you don't really want just anybody to find if they go through the dump or through your trash can. So we'll sort through this and say, okay, this doesn't have personal information, it can be tossed, or this needs to be shredded. So that's what this is. And once we went through that, we determined this is really all that should be filed away. This is a birth certificate and a passport. We're going to put that into the fire box, the fire safe box, so that it's protected if there's a home fire. This was some stationery that was in the box. It's just going to go on the desk so that you remember to write your thank you notes or say hello to people. And what we have left are pay stubs, tax W-2 forms, just some information. This would go in with credit card, like just information on your rights and benefits of the credit card, a resume, healthcare stuff. I'm going to lean forward a little. I hope I don't go out of your frame here. These are just things that, having to do with purchases, like manuals regarding equipment, things like that, or receipts for things that you bought that are valuable, that if something should go wrong with them, you want to be able to go back to the store and say, hey, I bought this and, you know, it's broken or whatever. And what do we have over here? Let's see. Oh, voter registration stuff, vehicle license stuff. This is something having to do with a lawsuit, but you know, that can happen. Some personal things and just some personal documents. So now what the next step is we've identified the different types of items that we need to be filing away, so we need to create those categories in the file box, which is here. There are lots of different kinds of file boxes. This is a really nice basic one I picked up at an office supply store. It was about $18, and it allows you to customize the files according to the categories. So they give you these little tabs. Then you write the name of the category and insert it into the tab, and then you can easily locate things. So I'm just going to make up some tabs and put them in, and then we'll put these away. I am putting the things that are most likely to be used most commonly, like healthcare documents or insurance or vehicle information, towards the front. And then the things that are least likely to be used or accessed in the back. So that would be like product brochures, things like that. Credit card stuff goes in the front, W-2 stuff goes in the front. But anyways, that's good enough. Okay, so that is the way that you organize all the documents and paperwork that you have stuck up on your desk. Sort it out. What's trash? What's recyclable? What is something that might need to be shredded? And then the important pieces of paper, stack them into the piles that they belong into, creating categories that you will transfer into your file box and recreate those category names in these little tabs. That way everything is easy to access and you'll know right where it is, and you'll also know right where to put things as they come in. And when you buy something like this, they usually will give you a bunch of extra tabs. And you want to save those because you're going to be changing up categories over the years. You're going to be getting new categories of documents sometimes, and so you'll need to create a new file to put it in. So save these, stick it right in the file, right maybe in the front. Then you always know where the extras are. And as new things come in, you can change it up. You do have to periodically cull your files. And that means actually remove things. So, you know, every couple years you might go through and say, what do I not need anymore that I can get rid of? Or what's a new category that I should be putting in here? So it's an evolving process that you adapt to over time so that you are always organized, know where to find things, and it's just going to help you in all the areas of your life so that you can move forth with all the plans that you have towards creating the life you want without a lot of mental clutter and background noise going on, because you don't have to worry about all those piles of things laying around. It's all organized right here. So anyway, I hope that you found this helpful. Please like the video if that was something that was helpful for you, and also maybe subscribe. That would be great. And look forward to seeing you again later. I'm just going to re-say all of that. So, okay. So anyway, that is the way that you can start to get yourself organized. It helps you move forward in life. You don't have a lot of background noise. You don't have a lot of background noise. You don't have a lot of background noise and clutter to distract you from the important things in life, because all those incidental things that are annoying and stacked all around you are all organized in one nice, neat place. And anyway, I hope it was helpful.